to the channel. My name is Brad and this is a SuperCoach Pro. This week I scored 2,238 points and I actually moved up 86 spots. So I'm now ranked 339 with 16 trades to go. So we'll just go into the side and we'll start off with the back line. Mills was my vice captain this week because I actually thought he would do really well against Collingwood. But yeah, he just played really average for a captain score, so I did not take the 100. Stewart had 23 or 24 touches in the back line, scored a 98, really solid. I'm happy with that. I'll take that any day. Laird 120 against West Coast. That's a pretty solid game from him, and that's probably about his ceiling this year, I reckon. Jaden Short, back to his best as well, 101. Super consistent. I think he's only had maybe 2 or 3 sort of average games because of Hui's return. But Ridley, he's the man I want to talk about. I watched him in the game and he looked like he was not playing the deepest back. I think it was Redmond that was playing sort of the deep back. But he wasn't the sort of kick out of the back line. It was more Hind, and Hind got off the chain and scored about 115 and probably deserved 130 if you have him. So Ridley looks to be back. Probably a really good buy at this point too. I mean, his break-even's 98, so you can wait one more week because he won't go up too much anyway. But he does play North Melbourne, so he might be a good buy this week if you don't already have him. Jackie Bowes, he did his hamstring. Now, they reckon it's a low-grade hamstring, so I might hold over the buys because I might bring in Murphy and then sort of loophole the scores between Kaczynski and Murphy is my thoughts of that. I don't really want a sideways trade, especially being in the top 300 now. If I do sideways trades, I'm not going to be able to upgrade my team. So I'm happy to loophole these scores. Kaczynski, he's near his break even. You can probably hold on to him for one more week. He's only playing Carlton and he's got a break even of 59. So he's done really well. I know a lot of people cut him off at about 200,000 because they thought he wasn't going to make any more money. So he's made 80k more than what a lot of people thought. Chapman's my dead rookie. McRae 115. He was going to be my vice captain or captain, but I had a feeling that Port Adelaide would have a pretty contested midfield that would sort of beat McRae up. Walsh 111. I thought he deserved probably a 120 to 130 game, but you'll take that anyway. Merritt got tagged. I'm not sure who he got tagged by in Fremantle, but he did. Josh Kelly, this is where pod captains work. So I took a punt on Kelly. He's not highly owned. I probably wouldn't recommend bringing him in, not because I'm trying to save my pod, but because Leon Cameron, once these Giants midfielders come back, he will get pushed to a forward line and score this 60, 69, 98, 90, 100. So this is good for now. These scores 129, 111, 132. They look really good. But like I said, once Cornelio and all those other midfielders come back, he's going to get pushed up to that high half forward role. But it worked this week. I got 264 for his captaincy, and a lot of people went with Gawn for the 117, so probably made about 40 or 50 points just off my captain. Traw, he's my failed pod this year. I don't want to talk about him, to be honest. Brayshaw brought this man in for 479. And he's turned up 2 out of 3 games, so I'm pretty happy out of that one. Powell, he's probably on the chopping block. He's got a break-even of 106. I might go Powell to Dusty or someone like that if I can afford to. It really just depends on the break-evens. I think I'm going to go off this week. Jordan, another solid game, 96. He's been scoring 90s and 80s the last 4 weeks now. Dawkins I brought in for Paddy Dow. Yes, I should have chopped Paddy Dow ages ago, but I couldn't find a good enough rookie to do it for, and I found my man in Dawkins. He played a really solid game, kicked 2 goals as well, and it looks like he actually might have better job security than I first thought. Brockman didn't play any VFL, so hopefully he comes back soon before the buys, or else I'm going to have to trade him for someone. McRae had 20 touches and 5 tackles in the VFL. I reckon he gets called up this week. Now onto the rucks. We've got Grundy 109. He had about 11 more hitouts than Hickey, but Hickey dominated the clearances and the around ground work. Scored 118. That's really solid. Scored 1 point better than Max Gawn, so that's even better. And if you got rid of Flynn, you'd be sort of kicking yourself. He just made another 43k this week. Break even of 16. I'm going to hold on to him, even during the buys. If he doesn't play, I don't care. I think I should be right for the buys. On to my forward line, Zeeble 89. I think his points are getting taken away from Hall because they sort of both share the kick-ins now. Zorko 140. I brought him in for Tex Walker. That was a good pick. I only brought him in because obviously I think he's a keeper, but Took Miller was suspended for a game, and I know he loves the Q clash. So I knew he would thrive. I didn't think he would get a 140, so I'm really happy with that. And Hall, 112. I'm pretty scared of this pick. He's scored 113 and 112 back to back. I bought him for a cheap price, but just the durability is still a factor. And I'm running him and Kelly, so the scores are really nice, but this is so risky. Impy 82. I'll take that if that's his sort of low ceiling. Warner 58. I think his break even's reset now, so you don't have to trade him. Scott's still got a bit of more cash to make. He scored 57. That's pretty consistent. And these two just doing what they normally do in a Collingwood lineup. And obviously Poulter, he was a good pick. I picked him in last week for Jimmy Rowe, I think it was. Now, Thursday night teams are back, as you guys know. So I'll be doing my video then. I'll go through my vice captain and captain's options, also who I look to trade in and out. And I'll actually do tips as well. So the round 10 tips, I'll go through them, who I think will win those games if you do want to know anyway. And one other thing for your trades this week, don't get sucked into these high numbers. I mean, a lot of people went for more because he was cheap and he scored a 130 and then he backs it up with a 70 this week. Harms, same sort of thing. He's got a 130 and then about 4,000 coaches go, oh yeah, he's going to do that every week. And Titch. If you watched the game the week before, the ball just landed in Titch's lap every time for that 147 score. And he has to have it 41 or 42 times for him to score a really good score. So I don't think I'm going to bring him in this year. Unless he's sub 500 and I'm desperate for like an M8, M9, I would. But I think there's a lot better midfielders out there. So what I'm trying to say is don't chase points. Anyway, that's my video for this round. Moved up a few spots, so I'm happy with that. Hope your team did really well. I'll catch you on the next video. If you like this one, please press the like button and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.